No intro tonight. Having some technical difficulties with StreamYard and was forced to use YouTube's live streaming. So hopefully it's working okay. I guess I need to figure out how to add an intro and stuff like that. I don't know how to do that. It's all brand new to me doing this way. Maybe this is the way to do it in the future. I don't know, but we'll see. Welcome to LOCKBEARD Phenomena number 115. Autumn is here. Give me just a moment. I'm throwing the links out. And email and Facebook messages. There we go. It's very different doing it this way. Oh gosh. Do they even have a way to add an intro? I'm afraid to click certain things in the middle of the stream. But StreamYard, you suck. So, what is it? It's Saturday, November 11th, 2023. Angel's here. Now, if I click your name here, does it show up on the screen? No. Just gives me the normal YouTube options. Well, that's one problem with not using StreamYard. I do not like that. I've got to figure out something here that's going to work better. Vault's Big Toe is here. Welcome. Everybody watch out for Vault's Big Toe. He could defeat armies. Angel says, I hate the time change. Yeah, they need to pick one and stick with it. There's no point in that anymore. Pick one and stick with it. Stop shuffling things about. But there's somebody benefits from it, so they will keep doing it. But it's just stupid. It's too disruptive. There's no reason for it at this point. Gary Johnson's here. Say yeah here. LOL, he says. So yeah, if y'all, those who weren't here the first couple of minutes, there was no intro tonight because I don't know how to do an intro on YouTube's version of live streaming. This first time I've used it. I've always used StreamYard, and StreamYard is not working apparently. I barely got a thumbnail made because Canva was acting up. And yeah, I've just had 1,000 different technical issues. At least the computer's functioning relatively normally tonight. Well, after the software update. Some of y'all know that I had to do a software update because things was all glitched up to the point I really couldn't do anything hardly. I mean, I could do some things, but it was jacking it up. I certainly couldn't upload or download files. It wasn't letting me do that, and I've been trying to do a lot of that lately. As you've seen with the channel, I've been uploading the old streams from before I created this new channel to that way if someone comes to this channel, they'll be able to see them in a playlist, and if they want to. And I'm also uploading them to the other channel that's not really, it's meant to be the network eventually. It's going to take time to do that. It's going to take time. It's going to take money. Unfortunately, it's going to take money because there's certain things that I just can't do for free. But I'm getting it set up. I've set up the Facebook group for the Phenomenon Network. From what y'all see, if you go over there, you'll see it looks like a channel that's called the Phenomenon Network. That's what it looks like to you. And so I'll have all the episodes of LOCKBEARD Phenomena uploaded just as a video. Won't have the chat with it because I can't. There's no way to bring it over, which is unfortunate because some people want to check out the chat, see what I'm looking at when I'm talking to people in the comments. If I can't bring it up on the screen, like I can't do on YouTube, then it's hard for people to know, what the entirety of the conversation. For example, we're talking about some issues, some things that happened, and it involved chat in an old live stream of somebody's, and I went to check to see if there was anything I could see in chat. Unfortunately, they had to delete the chat. Was there, of course, but they had deleted the comments of the persons that were pertinent to the reason for me looking. I needed to see what they were saying to see if the claims, the allegations being made were true, and there was no way to see that because they had been deleted, labeled hot pockets. They were labeled as hot pockets and deleted. So I think it's good to always have the chat there as a matter of record. And so it's unfortunate. Now, for the first 60, 70 so episodes, you can see that over at the old channel, the old LOCKBEARD channel, the very first one. It has a banner with red lightning and LOCKBEARD's in red on the banner at the top. That's the old original channel. I can't access it, unfortunately. It'd be nice if I could just merge it into the new one or take it back or something. I don't know, but there's just no way. They won't let me have it. But apparently YouTube wants to keep it and continue to display it on YouTube. So whatever. So yeah, that's some of the stuff going on with the channel right now. And the network. Hopefully that's going to have other shows coming to it eventually. Again, it's a matter of getting the money coming in to be able to get that stuff rolling. So don't expect to see anything very soon, but it's going to take time to set stuff up and negotiate with some people and all that stuff to where we have other people live streaming that channel. Hopefully bringing over some fantastic guests like the Squatching Cowboy and Mr. Lee 3PO. At least as guest. I think Squatching Cowboy should have his own live stream. Maybe we can talk him into that at some point, or maybe get him hooked up with someone else that's already doing it, as a regular guest or even a regular host, or I don't know, doing the whole live stream thing is a kind of a kind of an ordeal for a lot of people. It just depends on what their situation is. Some people just are happy to do, make a video ahead of time and then upload it and do that whole thing, and don't want to do live streams. So I understand, but a lot of you people that are watching this, I mean, you're into live streams. That's why I made the paranormal live stream TV guide is because I was tracking specifically live streams. Why? Because me, as well as many of you, like to be able to interact with the person on screen. And if they have guests, ask their guests questions. If you're someone like Raptor, you like to give their guests a bunch of shit. It's like, your claims are rather extraordinary. But here, let me catch up with the chat. Volt's Big Toe says, it killed two Gwegwe on what the hell? Hanobi Ridge in Washington. Han. I don't know what that even. For a minute there, I thought you were talking about Hanobi, Oklahoma, but he said Washington. Gary says to get on talk shows, one gotta chime into StreamYard. No, can't do. You mean as far as bringing on guests? Like I could never. Of course, I don't normally do guests anyway. It's only happened a couple times because someone that I trusted really wanted to get on the screen badly. But I don't want to open that door completely because people come in. Well, like Barry Brownie come in here demanding to get on screen. Well, I don't have to let you on my damn screen. I'll let you say whatever you want in the chat for the most part, as long as it doesn't go too far. Not dropping, epithets or flooding the chat or just being just egregiously offensive or demeaning to people. There's a level that we don't have to tolerate. It's completely disruptive to the chat. But that don't hardly ever happen. The trolls have figured out that because we were getting trolls. We get trolls every so often, but we ain't had trolls in a long time. If they don't get the reaction they want, they get bored and kind of wander off. That's what a lot of those channels out there are doing wrong, is the way they react to trolls. The trolls are getting the reaction they want. Don't give them the reaction they want. Laugh at them, make fun of them, because they're morons. They have a meaningless life, an absolutely meaningless life. But if they see they're getting a rise out of you, well, then they're happy. That's what they want, and so they'll keep on coming. And they're a joke. Their lives are a joke. These people's lives, they go, the legit trolls, just their life is just a joke. And we feel sorry for you at the Lockbeard channel. Squatch Cowboy is here. He says, howdy, y'all. Mr. Lee 3PO is here. Yeah, we need to get Mr. Lee on the camera, man. The knucklehead himself. I don't know if I can kind of zoom. At least I can zoom in on the chat. It's so small, it's kind of hard to see. Volt's Big Toe said, I tracked a 15-dog man across 12 state lines on foot in 2 hours. They were picked up by an ultralight aircraft on top of Rock Candy Mountain. Mr. Lee giving AAA is to Gary. Whatever that, I don't know what this AAA thing is. AAA can help you with your car, right? I don't know what that's all about. What the hell's a AAA? Is it an organization called the AAA? What would the organization? What would a cryptid organization AAA mean? Vault's big toe says to Mr. Lee, "You will succumb to the smell of my big toe." Yeah, that toe jelly is probably rotten. It's been kicking zombies with it. Angel says just joined the Facebook group. Did you? Like what, the Phenomenon Network? Mr. Lee says, I do like cheese, especially a pungent cheddar cheese. Donald says, I see the menace VBT is here. Yeah, you got to watch out for Volt's big toe. No, Mr. Lee, VBT is Volt's big toe. It's probably to be considered a new cryptid. Raptor's here. There he is. He says, hello, everyone. Hope all's good. Welcome. Donald says, Mr. Lee, I had that big toe whoop me. It's devastating. Mr. Lee says, I have noticed you cannot watch live chat on replay with the new YouTube upgrade. Yeah, YouTube's been fiddling with stuff. There's a lot of crazy shit going on. People got to keep taking a stand against the woke nonsense going on. They're trying to destroy everything, but we're getting victories. We're beating them back. But unfortunately, the government right now is trying to take complete control of the internet, and they got all kinds of diversity and inclusion nonsense, which when they say diversity and inclusion, what they actually mean is less diversity by getting rid of people that look like me, who straight white males. They mean less diversity. They say diversity and inclusion, but it's really less diversity and exclusion of straight white males. They're actually excluding more people instead of everybody's included already. Nobody's excluding anybody right now. The people that are talking about that are the ones trying to exclude people, and they're now trying to take over the internet. So they basically they're going to be able. Basically, you're going to be paying for other people to have internet and to have preferential access to internet over you if you're a straight white male in particular, but white people in general and stuff. That's what they're doing, and they're trying to act like they're doing something good. It's ridiculous, but we're getting some victories, right? So, like when they're trying to brainwash the kids by, doing crazy shit with like the Snow White thing. Right? You saw that it wasn't Snow White and the Seven Dwarves anymore. It was Off-White and the Seven Diversity Hires. They weren't even dwarves. And then they changed it into these creepy looking CGI dwarves. And they're probably going to try and act like, this was our plan all along. No, it wasn't. You go look at the picture of what they like. They were clearly trying to make it a big diversity thing with the dwarves. Most of them weren't even dwarves. And we talked about that before. Dwarf actors are limited on what kind of roles they can take, right? They can't just take any role. I mean, it's just a reality. And we talked about there at St. Patrick's Day, where a guy who is a little person, I never can keep, I don't know if YouTube might freaking strike me if I say the wrong word. I'm not sure which word's the right word. But I do believe that all of the little people out there don't actually believe I want to discriminate against them or trying to disparage them or anything like that, especially since I'm talking about their jobs being taken from them, money-making opportunities being taken from them. Like with that bar where a bunch of freaking Karens griped about them using a little person to act as a leprechaun, and they considered it offensive for some reason. Well, if it was so damn offensive, why did he take the job? Because he didn't find it offensive. He found it an opportunity to make some money, and but it got taken away from him because these Karens bitched. They took his job, and so, and the same thing with the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And if you want to do live action Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, there's rules for little people, little actors. And what's that nut job little shit that played in Game of Thrones, and he played a dwarf for MCU. I forget that asshole's name. He was bitching because he considered the Seven Dwarfs thing to be somehow offensive himself. And I think other people were out there describing it this way. Is basically he's pulling the ladder up behind him. He's got it. He's getting the dwarf jobs, and now dwarf jobs that little people can play, where their physical appearance is fit for the role, right? So it's like, why is he griping about that? Those are job opportunities for little people actors. But the backlash, the point is the backlash against the Snow White and Seven Dwarfs thing has been just crazy, and they're not going to make money on it. People are just raising too much hell about it. And then I don't know if you guys watch South Park. I don't regularly, but they just did a show. They did one. It was into the pander verse, because these people are pandering to all the little groups, the alphabet community and people that aren't white, whatever the appropriate term for that is at this point. I don't know. Whatever. It's freaking skin color. Nobody actually gives a fuck, but these people. The ones that are bitching about, oh, there's racism everywhere. Well, actually, most people don't give a crap. It's just you. Apparently, it's a big deal because they want to use this. They want to say, hey, look, black people, we're looking out for you. And half the black people are like, screw you guys. You're just you're fake. You're fake. You don't actually care about black people or gay people or any of these assholes. You don't. Okay? You don't. You're just acting like it. Because you're trying to get those points. Get those diversity and inclusion points. But South Park did Into the Panderverse, where everybody was turned into, everyone had to be, every character was turned into a gay woman, of some kind. Everybody had to be diverse, and it ends up where it isn't actually diverse. You still have the same range of colors, right? You still have the same range of colors. South Park already had gay people. I mean, Mr. Garrison, come on, is already there. Hell, Satan was gay. Saddam Hussein was gay. There was plenty of gay people in the movie, in the show. But what South Park demonstrated very clearly, all they're doing is erasing white people and straight people. That's what they're doing. And so the people over at Disney, they're losing their shit. They're freaked out. Because the power of South Park is massive. So we're winning, and so people need to stop being afraid. Like you saw Neil deGrasse Tyson sitting there interviewing with I forget his name right now. Guy that used to be thought of as pretty serious liberal, but now some of these liberals are probably going to be hating on him because he's actually saying that all this nonsense is stupid. Neil deGrasse Tyson's supposed to be a scientist, and he's sitting there, he's bending the knee. he's being woke. And I mean, watch the interview. It's so damn ridiculous. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson should be laughed out of the scientific community after this, because he was basically he said something. What did he say? It was like in sports, you know how in sports you have weight classes. He's like, well, maybe we should have hormone level classes. What? That's so damn ridiculous. I mean, most people probably don't understand just how ridiculous it is. Like, you could take a man and give him all the hormones you want to turn him into a woman, and you might be able to say, well, you know, he tests his hormone levels are the same as a woman, so he can fight a woman in the ring. No, you don't understand. He's still a man. There's plenty of men that are totally men out there right now that have low testosterone, right? That's a big problem. It does. They don't stop being a man. They're still a man. They just have a hormonal dysfunction. They're still being a man, which means their bones are stronger, their muscles are stronger. They're going to hurt a woman if it's an impact sport of some kind. So anyway, Neil deGrasse Tyson's totally pandering. He's totally bending the knee, and he's a cowardly wuss. I mean, it's bad enough his science was flawed before that, and we could tear that apart all night long if you want. But now he's just bending the knee and pandering, and it's cool. So South Park is destroying the Panderverse. They did, you know, they're making fun of this, you know, the MCU and Captain Marvel and all the stuff, all the things. They've screwed up everything. They screwed up Star Wars because they want to preach their bullshit, you know, to where I mean, I shouldn't even have to talk about this at all. Why is this a thing? It's because they were under attack. We just are. But let's see. But yeah, Mr. Lee cannot watch the live chat. Yeah. So I don't know what YouTube's up to. YouTube's up to some crazy shit. YouTube has well, one of the things with the ad block stuff, you know, I don't know if you've been paying attention to that, where the what's his nuts came up with they put together an app to kind of bypass that shit, and then YouTube canceled that guy's channel for talking about this app that they created to bypass YouTube's bullshit. There's been some talk about it. There might be some legal issues with what YouTube has done. YouTube, just stop it. Just stop. Cut it out. Stop with your nonsense. Just provide the service that you said you were going to provide and stop dicking with us. Okay? I thought you were in business. I thought you wanted to make money. You're not making money off of me because I'm not making any money off this shit. I mean, the only way any money comes is if people make individual donations. And it's not because I did anything wrong. It's because YouTube is trying to censor free speech. They've gone straight up 1940s Germany, book burning the books. That's what it is. They call us the Nazis, but that's them. They're the ones acting like it. It's projection with them. A lot of stuff's projection with them. It's always projection. Whatever they're calling you is how they're acting. Because I don't want to censor their free speech. I just want them to stop censoring mine. Leave me alone. Like, stop messing with me. So YouTube, listen out there. I mean, you're lucky Rumble ain't got their crap together. I'm starting to think they're colluding because Rumble, it's almost like Rumble's dragging their feet on purpose. And right now, so much crap ain't working with Rumble. It isn't syncing my videos up. Like it says pending, a bunch of them. Every so often, 3 or 4 of them will go through, but most of them just sit there in that pending bin and never show up on the channel. So Rumble is just not working. It's just not working. I've tried uploading a bunch of stuff that they missed, but that's going to get old really fast. I've got way too much uploading and downloading going on and limited internet connection. So I'm starting to think Rumble is colluding with YouTube. Like YouTube's paid them off basically to not upgrade their system to where it works as good as YouTube and as a real competitor to YouTube. They're dragging their feet about making the changes, and they know damn well what changes they need to make. They know damn well what they need to do to make it to where people will be like, you know what? Rumble's just as good as YouTube. I can just go over here, screw YouTube, because YouTube sucks. It used to be pretty great, but they're making it where it sucks. So, but if the government passes their nonsense where they're trying to take over the internet entirely, to where they can enforce diversity and inclusion stuff on the entire damn internet, then YouTube could say, "Oh, it's not our fault; it's the government." That's what they're trying to get to right there. So it's maddening what they're trying to do here. You go look at that. Go look. It's crazy. It's crazy. And whenever the government, someone made a good point about this. They said whatever the government gives you, they can take away because they have control of it. Once they got control of it, I mean, if you say the wrong thing on the internet at all after that point, they will be able to shut you down entirely. You know, right now you got to deal with, YouTube doing it, Facebook doing it, individual companies, but if the government's the company that controls all the other companies. You really got to think about it like that. The government is like the one company that owns all the other companies because they all got to pay into the system. They all got to answer to the rules and the commands coming from the top, and the top is the government. They're the main corporation that runs all the other corporations. So we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Danny's here. Says greetings from South Carolina. Donald says that was Vault Stutter. Having trouble with this. Okay, that was Vault Stutter when I think chat jumped on me. It was Vault Stutter when he's lying, Lockbeard. When he made that claim that the stutter he made, Honobi Ridge. Gary says, no, too many have problems on StreamYard I'm talking about. Yes. So I don't know if there needs to be another option to look at other than StreamYard. I don't know. But I know StreamYard. I know how to use StreamYard, and I can't remember what the reasons were that I chose StreamYard over the other option. But there was some kind of good reason at the time. So he said, like Jerry Newman, BBL company is here, damn it. Raptor says, I know I'm a troll. I'll question anybody because nobody's putting any information out there about the subject of Bigfoot. Yeah. Unfortunately, and we all know, Raptor, we all know when we see people, they're on the screen and they're on somebody's channel and they're saying some bullshit that's just so ridiculous that we shouldn't believe a word of it. So really, you just gotta leave it be. Just gotta leave it be because the reality is, like on most channels, when they got a guest, they don't want their guest, they don't want future possible guests to be scared away from coming on screen and talking. So that's why they don't like people asking them really hard questions in the chat, or some channels they don't want to talk to the chat at all. So you got to keep that in mind. If you come at people hard, you're encouraging channels not to talk to the chat at all. So we want them to still talk to chat. So you don't want to go in there like challenging the hell out of people. You know what I mean? Because the owner of that channel may not want to let you come there anymore, or they may want to just stop paying attention to chat or letting chat answer questions. I mean, you're messing it up, and you're not accomplishing anything because you're just not. Um, if you want to come here and talk about these things and bring them up, because I don't usually have guests on. I mean, I might eventually have guests on, and if that happens, I'll tell them. So look, got some people that'll ask them hard questions. I'll just tell them straight up that's what happens here, and they just need to roll with it, even if they're under a little bit of hard scrutiny. So, but for other channels, man, I wouldn't go in there asking them hard questions. Just don't, because they're gonna ban you, as you know, they're gonna ban you. And they're going to be mad. They don't like that, because that kind of stuff, when other people who might want to come on screen at a future date see that, it scares them away. And so it's just better to let it lie. Watch, and then talk about it elsewhere, probably. Or if you do say something, say, well, that just sounds pretty fantastic to me, or something. Just don't go hard on them, because you just end up getting yourself blocked. Gary says triple A's means my top of the line encounters. I see. Angel says, Mr. Lee, some channels I can see the chat replay, others no. Yeah, I thought normally it takes a while for YouTube to process it or something. And if the live stream just ended, you can't see the chat, but then if you wait some number of hours, you can see it. So maybe that's all that's going on with that, Mr. Lee. I haven't noticed anything different. Reverend says, Angel, I noticed that too. Some of them will redo the live chat, some don't. Donald says it's got to be a setting because everyone else has chat replay. I think because it seems like for me, most live streams, if you come in right after the live stream's over, the chat's not there. But it'll show up later. At least that's what I've noticed. Danny says, go to where it says comments on a live stream replay. Swipe to the left to see chat replay. Does anyone read those emails on upgrades? No. Donald says, I don't get why YouTube doesn't have the live stream capability that all these streaming services yet. I know, right? They're you would think that they would have the best, but I don't see how can I share screen or any of that stuff that I can do in StreamYard. But you need something outside YouTube anyway, because there's no way in hell YouTube's going to let me live stream dual live stream this to Rumble as well. They're not going to let me do it. And I doubt they'd let me stream it live to the network channel, which is what I need to happen eventually. I need it to stream to both at the same time. I don't think it necessarily needs to stream to Rumble. If Rumble can't get their shit together where stuff's working right, and I don't know what to do with them. They're dragging their feet, and I think they've been paid off by freaking YouTube. Live stream capability that all these streaming services do. Mr. Lee says many dwarfs have lost their career, sadly. Yeah. If somebody out there buys the rights to, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, man, hey, I'll work on that movie project. Let's do it. Let's make it right. Like we could expand that world too, because those dwarves got to have some families somewhere. We could hire a lot of little people. Dwarves have lost their careers. Gary says watching the TR vid channel on BF and other stuff. Raptor says that Mr. Lee, look at the comments on the video. If the two little white dots are very top right corner that where you can watch live chat. If there's only one dot you can't, that's because what the channel where they set it where you can't. Donald says the woke bull is getting absurd. It is. Mr. Lee says the Time Bandits. Yeah, I used to love that movie when I was a kid. It was weird as hell. It was weird as hell. Danny says, congratulations to the dwarfs. They're all going back to work. They're making a new Wizard of Oz series in 2025. Mr. Lee says, Peter Dinklage. Yeah, Peter Dinklage. Look, Peter Dinklage, if you're out there, your job is to pretend. Your job is a professional liar. You're no scholar. Nobody gives a shit what you think about any kind of political nonsense. They just want to see you act well, whatever role you're playing. Okay? You're getting backlash because people don't want to hear it. We're sick of actors who don't know dick about fuck. They don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. They're absolute morons, most actors. I ain't going to say all actors. Most actors don't know anything worth a damn. They have ridiculous ideas about crap. They've adopted a bunch of commie nonsense politics, and we don't want to hear it. If you just kept your mouth shut, I wouldn't care. But because you guys have carry so much power with your voice, and there's so many people out here that will listen to you and emulate you and believe whatever crap you say, I got to deal with all those people if you talk, which makes me not want to watch movies that you're in. I don't want to support you in any way. I'm sick of your crap. I mean, I used to go to the movies every week, and I stopped because you guys are morons in Hollywood. So, and I probably won't ever start. I won't start, and I want to see some heads roll over this crap. I've had enough. You guys got to go. All the existing companies pretty much just need to. What I think I would be satisfying to me is they all go under, and no one involved with the industry currently is involved with the the new companies that come in. It needs to be completely new people that had nothing to do with any of this crap. I'm not interested. Probably here in a couple years anyway, we'll just be able to tell AI, hey, make me a ghost movie. And it needs to have this happen in it. And the damn AI will be able to make you an entire movie custom made for you, and you won't need Hollywood anymore. Screw Hollywood. Maybe they know that's coming. Maybe that's why they're going ahead and trying to use whatever influence they got to help the government push ridiculously stupid ideas. Convincing people that there's a germ catastrophe going on. Anyone could step outside and look outside and see there's not dead bodies in the street. Those situations result in people just dropping dead in the street. Didn't happen. When you went to the hospital and looked, they said, oh, the hospital's crowded, and you go down there and there's nobody there. Because a bunch of people did. They went down, they checked. They're like, holy shit. Oh, they got a tent over here and they got this stuff here, but this place is a ghost town. There's no one here. That happened here. They said the whole damn thing was a cooked up lie. Completely. And unfortunately, I still can't tell you just how evil the situation was. Some of the shit that they just did. It's absolutely evil, disgusting, murderous. But some people out there still actually believe. There's people still out there wearing masks. They are so completely brainwashed. They're still wearing a mask. Nothing happened. The only thing that happened was the government and the media told you something was happening and you reacted. They told you, oh my gosh, toilet paper, and you guys were down there buying up all the toilet paper. Proving that you're just puppets. They can easily make you do shit. It's not everybody. It's about half the people out there are easily manipulated puppets. If the media or your favorite politician tells you to, and it doesn't matter which party, both parties, they're both the same. They're on the same team. They just act like it's classic divide and conquer to get you to fight each other, because they actually want my side to be out here, right? As far as on this subject, they want me fighting the other side. But it's this on this particular issue, it's the right thing, right? Because they're lying. But I'll tell you that they are lying to you. And what happened? People were going back there trying to return big packages of toilet paper. What was funny to me is a person that's a prepper-minded person. A prepper, as in, what do you need? What's your primary things you need? Like, toilet paper is great and all, but there were still lots of food on the shelves in this town anyway, and the other town that I was in. Well, in several towns that I've been in during all that. Plenty of food still on the shelf, but all the toilet paper is gone. You guys do understand that you're not going to need to wipe your ass if you run out of food. Maybe you should have bought all the food first and then start worrying about buying up all the toilet paper. That tells you how bad people's bathroom times are, I guess. I've been telling you about carnivore. Once you get adapted, things go a lot nicer and a lot cleaner. Without getting too gross about it, it's it's a gross subject for people, but I'm telling you, life changing, like what you've experienced in your life is not the way it's supposed to be. Everything from your brain to your asshole is not functioning correctly. All this mental illness, a lot of it will go away, because if your physiology is disrupted, well, that affects your brain too. It affects your ability to heal from anything. I didn't know that burning in the sunlight was something that needed to be cured. I just thought that's the way it's supposed to, that's just life, right? But now I know, as well as thousands of other people that went to a carnivore diet. Now I know. The reason why you get sunburned in the sun is because something's wrong with your body, with your physiology. You've been poisoning your system, and it's weakened it. So you're less able to fight disease. You're less able to resist the sun. So many things. You're less able to think clearly. Everything's disrupted by these poisons you're eating in plants. Plants are poisonous to humans. They just are. So I didn't know. I didn't expect this, and neither did any of these other carnivores. But it just started happening. Like, because every year I'm fair-skinned person. Every year I have to be careful about getting out in the sun earlier in the summer, because usually I get out there too long and I'll get sunburned, and I could get sunburnt really, really bad. That stopped happening. And now I understand why. It's because the food was reducing my ability to resist sunlight naturally, as I'm supposed to, as every human did. When humans were running around butt ass naked for thousands and thousands of years, they didn't have clothes way back in the day. They were running around the sun. Do you think the sun just suddenly decided it fucking hated you? It's like, fuck these humans, I'm going to start burning them. No, we started roughly about 10 to 13,000 years ago. We started eating a bunch of plants. Before that, we were just hunters. But when the extinction of our major prey happened, they started eating all these plants. They invented agriculture, and the result was, we start have to worry about the sun a little bit. We start having bad teeth. We start with the brain size shrank. Human brain size shrank. All these things went wrong. So no matter what it is that's wrong with you, it doesn't matter what it is. Going to a strictly carnivorous diet will help it to some degree, if not cure it entirely. It just will. So it may be hard to fight the addiction because a lot of these foods are somewhat addictive to extremely addictive. For some people, they're really, really addictive, particularly the carbohydrates, but just everything, because you've just been used to eating it your whole life and it's hard to get off of it. But it doesn't matter what you have. Some of it may be that you don't even realize, like getting sunburned. If you go carnivore long enough, you will notice that you have way more resilience to the sun. As crazy as that sounds to you at the moment, just give it a try. You'll see. 6 months carnivore, you'll come back and say, holy shit. Even when I go off the diet, I never get as bad as what I was before because I'd eaten crap my whole life. A lot of it thinking it was health food. But after a good clean out with a good 6 months of carnivore, I was able to heal a lot of stuff and get a lot of the poisons out. Some of the stuff like the oils, because the fats get transported inside the cells, and oils and fats can be stuck inside that cell for years. So it really need to really clean up and heal. You need years of strict carnivore. Eat all the fat you want, eat all the salt you want. In fact, salt a little more than you think you need. You'd be surprised how much salt you really need. And you'll be squatching till you're 110. But please listen to me. I'm sick of watching people die when I'm trying to tell them how look, the doctors are failing you. It's time to try something else. Just try. If what you're doing ain't working, why won't you try something else? I'm trying to save lives here. I've tried to do it in the past, and people don't listen, and they just lay there and die. I mean, I don't know how much do I need to come, whack people upside the head and drag them off to an island somewhere and show them because they will not listen because they think they know different. And I'm telling you, you don't. I used to think what you're thinking, but as more information came to me and it, man. And like I said, the sun thing is like it really ought to be able to logic that out. It's like, why is the sun so dangerous to us now? It don't make any sense. We haven't had clothing very long. And yet, so what's going on? Something's wrong. Yeah, something's wrong because you've been eating poison. That's why. So whatever's wrong with you, and there's a couple other things like if you let it go too long, because I get it. Sometimes when people get certain conditions, they're so far gone that they may not be able to come back, right? And that's a reality for some. Some it may be that just going to a carnivore diet ain't going to fix them. They need to fast and fast hard. So like if I ever get a cancer diagnosis, I know exactly what I need to do. And what I'm going to do is just stop eating. And the reason why that works, you'll just need, it takes there's a lot of information there for you to understand why I'm going to do that. Right. And then you need to do certain things to stimulate your body to fix like if you have defective cells, it can be helpful if you can stimulate more, stem cells. You heard about all this stem cell research and stuff like that. Even to the extent that it's pretty soon they're going to be able to just reverse paralyzed People that have been paralyzed, they're going to be able to reverse that entirely. They've already been able to do it partially in experiments with rats and whatnot. It's not as big a deal as it sounds. It really isn't. It sounds magical, but it's anyway. There's products you can get that you can take to stimulate your body to create more stem cells. So if you have a damage anywhere in your body, doesn't matter where it's at, if you stimulate your body to release more stem cells, it'll help your body. Those stem cells will go to where the damage is and replace the damaged cells and fix whatever it is. As long as you're still alive, you have a chance to fix whatever it is. Doesn't matter. But don't wait until you're so far gone that you're hopeless. Some people aren't willing to listen until the midnight hour, and it's like, well, dude, if you listened to me 3 days ago, maybe. If you listened to me 3 weeks ago, really good chance. But you waited to the last minute, and then a lot of people don't listen at all, and they lay there and die under this current medical establishment, this dark age nonsense where they don't want to cure certain things, because if you find out that it's curable, you'll stop paying for all their drugs, years of medical visits and scans and tests and pokes and prods. All of this can be eliminated. I went through some pokes and prods about some stuff until I figured out what was really going on and how to actually heal myself. I ain't gonna do that shit no more. You get a broken leg, that's one thing. But if your body starts breaking down because of what you've been putting in it, it's as simple as stop putting the poison in. For the most part, it's just as simple as stop putting the poison in so your body can heal. Your body can't heal if you keep poisoning it constantly every freaking day, and that's what you're doing. You don't realize it because you eat some potatoes and you think, well, I don't feel like I'm poisoned. You're poisoned. Subtle over time, it eventually gets you. I'm probably way behind in chat. Mr. Lee, your wrench. Oh yeah, Mr. Lee should have a wrench, shouldn't he? Hold on, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can fix that. I don't know how far behind I'm in chat, but I'll try and catch up now. Hold on. Gone on about too much crap. Left it on the bus, says Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee has high testosterone. No email on how it went from Mr. Lee. I don't know what that's about. Danny left the link there. Iron Dogger at the Giant of Oregon case. She found the door. Mr. Lee says, Donald, I had camera down throat. Apparently, I was trying to talk the whole time. Being sedated does weird things to me. The nurses were nice. Raptor says, Mr. Lee, did they put you to sleep to check out your throat or what? Uncle Bones is here. Welcome. Sorry, late. Seeing you, I'm way behind in chat. How far behind in chat am I? Angel says, Mr. Lee, yes, redheads can have an odd reaction to anesthesia. Mr. Lee says, Raptor, no, they give you throat spray sedation so you can see the whole thing. It was very interesting, actually. I don't want them anywhere near my throat, man. Viking blood. Donald says, please go to my Vault of BS channel and sub. I will be making more videos as soon as I have a computer to edit properly. And he gives the link there. Danny says, no shit, Beard. I don't know what you're talking about, but Donald, the link's not working. Try again. Uncle Bone says the link works fine. Something shared, said Danny. Happy early birthday, Danny Stanton, says Uncle Bones. Danny's having a birthday, it looks like. So it's Monday, November 13th. He'll be 57, looking 47, feeling 17, and fucking a 27-year-old. Awesome, man. Uncle Bones says, good for you, Dan. Donald says, I think it's awful strange how a company like Disney would think the woke narrative is a feasible lifestyle. Everything about it is so effed up. It is, and it's going to come collapsing down. People are going to look back at this and think, what in the hell? People were nuts. And the reality is people are. Like, there's a lot of people have some degree of mental illness right now that don't realize it, because your brain function is disrupted. Your physiology is all jacked up from eating all this crap. Forget the weird chemical additives. Just the food itself is disruptive to your whole system and poisonous. So you got to stop eating plants. All plants, period. Just stop it. And that'll fix a lot of it. And if you stick to carnivore most of the time and you slip off every so often, at least you're sticking to carnivore most of the time. And then maybe you could build up your ability to stay on it more and more over, a few years. But you really need to work towards that because it's damaging, very damaging. I mean, I try to, but I slip off here and there. So, but I did do a good solid 6 months or so strict carnivore. And damn, like no diet ever. I tried all kinds of shit around the gym, all the things, except for vegan or vegetarian. Any first year biology student should be able to determine that that's absolutely ridiculously stupid. Vegan, vegetarian, ridiculously stupid. There are nutrients in meat that you cannot get from plants. You need those nutrients. You're not an herbivore. There is no nutrient in plants that you can only get from plants. Nothing. Every nutrient you need is present in meat. And there's reasons, because we're very, very well evolved for eating fatty meat. Tons and tons of fatty meat. All the mastodons and all the different, all the different megafauna. We figured out how to kill big, fatty red meat animals. That's what all those spear points were about. They were not plowing fields. Stupid vegans, man. But yeah, I tried all the different diets and it was crazy what carnivore did. Crazy. You were like, what about blood sugar? Blood sugar went nice and level. Because my blood sugar used to do crazy shit, right? Because I'm some kind of... I never got an official diagnosis from the doctors. All I know is it gets really low. I refused to go to the doctor about it. I just fixed it by, initially just getting rid of all the carbs, but eventually, dropped everything that wasn't a plant. I jump back in and out of it now, but yeah. Mr. Lee says, I noticed the masks are being worn again. They insist at the hospital you wear a mask. Yeah, those. I mean, hopefully people see and understand, that the medical staff aren't necessarily geniuses. They went to the medical school. They were taught what they were told to learn, right? Doctors are not typically have zero knowledge of proper nutrition. Well, one, they have very little official nutrition courses, right? I took official nutrition, in college, and I can tell you now, because if you actually look at real studies, like most people have never looked at an actual study. They read a newspaper or a magazine article or an article online, and it says, well, and this study said this, this, and this, and then they don't know first thing about analyzing the study, understanding the design of it. Is it got, what are the weaknesses in that design? Because every study's got some weaknesses. Um, what that study can actually inform you about. There's confounding factors all over the place. You don't know how you don't know anything about that study. You don't know how to evaluate studies in the first place, because you never went to college and learn that kind of stuff. Of a study that's inaccurate, a study that was flawed all to hell. And usually if you talk about dietary stuff, oh man, they're not studies that are useful at all, because what they did was give someone a questionnaire. Typically it's like, they ask them once a year or something like that. Well, what did you eat? Do you remember exactly what you ate? Like, do you remember that you ate a cup of broccoli last Wednesday? No, you don't. They're asking these people at the end of the year, what did you eat? Well, you're not going to get accurate information that's of any use whatsoever. You're just not. And even if you did have them fill that out every day, you're still not going to get accurate information. The only way you get it, because a lot of people are going to lie anyway, but are they going to actually accurately weigh what they're eating? Do you know what? There's so many factors. It's unbelievable. How ridiculous it is that they treat these as actually useful information, and they're not. It's actually illegal to conduct the correct studies to on humans, like to understand what we need to know about what proper, because you'd have to take a large enough population, because it's got to be a large enough number. You got to stick them in an isolated environment. They can't sneak out and go down to the store and get a candy bar. You need to be able to observe every moment of their day, and there's no chance that they're going to fuck your study up. So it's unethical that you're not allowed. You can't do that to humans. You can do it to animals, but it's not useful information for humans, because that animal is not human. When they did a cholesterol study on rabbits and the cholesterols got sick, well, great. That cholesterol hurts rabbits. That's not the case for humans. Humans are designed to eat tons of cholesterol. Cholesterol is a health food for us. Fat, and more fat. We evolved to eat that. Rabbits evolved to eat grass. They create fat in their body. If you look at like a close relative of ours, the gorilla, they have a huge hind gut that turns that plant material into fatty acids. They don't need to eat fat because they create it in their gut. We don't have that huge hind gut. We don't have it. I mean, our I've had people try to say, well, what about our guts are designed, blah, blah, blah. Well, somebody told you some bullshit, because here's how our gut is actually designed. Okay. We evolved away from that. We don't have that big pot belly like a damn gorilla, because we don't have that huge hind gut for digesting that plant material with a huge bacterial mass living in your gut all the time. So, I mean, by going carnivore, like a bunch of that bacterial mass will just expel pretty, like it's going to die off and expel. So you're going to have some super shits. It's just reality. You got to get it out of there, though. It don't belong in there. And then all the inflammation's going to go away. And there's going to be all this fluid flushing out, all this, it's just all going to flush out. Stay close to the bathroom at first until you clean out all the nonsense. You're going to drop a bunch of excess weight almost immediately and feel 10 times better pretty quick. But you're just loaded with all this stuff that don't belong there, and you're swollen just in general. But yeah, the hospital. So those people at the hospital, those doctors and nurses, they know bare minimum. They took the bare minimum courses to learn, to get their job. The doctors learn to diagnose disease and give you drugs. Okay. Most of them did not have the adequate passion for the subject to care about curing you. They got pharmaceutical reps showing up in there saying, "Oh, this drug does this, this, and this." The doctor didn't conduct the studies himself, and if he did read anything about the drug, he probably didn't, pay too close of attention. All he knows is he's going to get kickbacks. They usually just kind of believe the pharmaceutical reps what that drug does, and they just give it to you. It's malpractice is what it is, but so you pretty much got to figure out on your own how to deal with a lot of this stuff. And luckily, the reason why people have 1,000 different diseases in our society is because of what you're eating. You're not supposed to just break down like this. You're not supposed to have 1,000 different things go wrong with you. 10 different diseases of the gut making your life hell in the bathroom. Dozens of different behavioral, psychological disorders, being treated with a bunch of drugs, up to like, what was a depression drug that causes thoughts of suicide? Why would you want to give something that causes that to someone who's depressed? Anyway, it's ridiculous. So I've given you the answer to a lot of shit. So, Mr. Lee, whatever they're cramming tubes down your throat for, Mr. Lee, go talk to Professor Bart K. He talks about certain products that might help you. And of course, the main thing you need to do is stop eating all the plants, all of them. But yeah. Icon says, Halito Achaeos. Howdy, chat. Just home. Had to check emails. Yada, quick yada yada. Mr. Lisa Donald, yeah, me too. How are you supposed to wear a mask with a beard anyhow? It's stupid. They found that beards reduce problems with germs on your face. Says, no, it is an angel. I'd love to have a copy of the Song of the South. Danny says, I was stocked up on food, water, bullets, but forgot the toilet paper. Well, you can always go outside and get some leaves. Once your system's settled down after you get on carnivore diet, in nature, animals don't have toilet paper, okay? Typically, they just drop Duke and they lay a clean turd, okay? I mean, not trying to be gross, it's just reality. Humans typically have this big mess going on their backside. I know you have it, all of you out there, because I've seen it in the bathrooms, okay? You're splattering all over the inside of the bowl. Some of you aren't making it to touchdown before you explode all over the wall behind the toilet, and I had to clean that crap up for years. The reason why your ass is exploding on yourself and you're not laying a nice, good, firm, clean turd where you don't hardly have anything on your butt to wipe is because you're eating a bunch of crap you're not supposed to eat. You're sick. You're sick. Your ass isn't supposed to explode all over the damn wall down at Lowe's, where poor Earl has to come in there and clean it up. You'd be surprised how much people shit themselves at Lowe's, man. They shit in the freaking aisle. They'll shit and it'll be coming out the bottom of their pant leg. If they make it to the bathroom, they shit all over the wall. All over the toilet. I mean, I'm just saying, people are sick. This is not normal. You're supposed to lay a nice, clean, solid, and not as big either. People practically gave birth to a baby in there sometimes, and they would leave it unflushed because they're proud of it, I guess. You're not supposed to crap that big. Humans are not supposed to crap that big. I mean, again, I'm not trying to be gross. This is a health issue. You don't make near as much waste when you're on carnivore. So, you know what I mean? You have a bunch of waste because what you're eating is mostly indigestible. and it's just not what you're designed to eat. So most of it's just going right out your ass. Like if you were actually to try and analyze what's coming out of there, you're gonna find if you ate carrots, there's going to be carrots, identifiable pieces of carrot in your crap. Identify nuts. People thought, oh, nuts are good health food. Yeah, well, most of it's ended up in that turd because you can't digest it. Quinoa grain was touted as a superfood, complete protein, blah blah blah. You can't digest it; it ends up in your turd. Corn, same thing. All that this stuff don't digest. Humans aren't designed to digest that crap. So, Donald says beards will be banned next. And kiss my ass. Mr. Lee says, Donald, that will make girlfriend happy. Icon says, howdy mate, how it goes. Mr. Lee says, Icon, not too bad, not too good. Well, Mr. Lee, listen to me. I want to heal you, whatever's wrong with you. I've too many people just not listen to me in the past. I've watched too many people die because they won't even try. It's like do these people want to die? It's the only thing I can figure. When the doctor says, well, we can't do anything else for you, we can make you feel comfortable till you reach your expiration date. We think you're going to pass within this amount of time. Nice knowing you. You're not wanting to try something to maybe, you're just going to accept that. You're not going to try something different that might work. And, this might work. You might not be so far gone that this might work. And a lot of these diseases people are getting would not get in the first place if they just do what I fucking tell you. Actually take the time, do due diligence, and learn why. I can try to take you, walk you through some of it, but the reality is you're going to have to learn some human physiology. You're going to have to learn some things about evolutionary biology of humans. There's just a lot of different things you got to learn. What the archaeological evidence shows. It's a ton of information going into this one conclusion. Please take the benefit of the correct conclusion. And recognize when you don't know and somebody else does. Try to recognize when you don't know, but somebody else does, and they're trying to give you the benefit of their knowledge. Gary says, keeping a very close on people that use mind control to their advantage, I will not participate with. Good thing, Gary. Set winner. Going, Gary. Mr. Lee says, oh, man, I have to watch my bald patch in the sun. If I don't wear a hat, I'm in deep trouble. It might not be a problem for you anymore if you eat carnivore, Mr. Lee. Then better, some of them good as others. I'm banging in there. Been given a low salt, no fat diet. They're trying to kill you. Holy shit, dude. They are trying to kill you. Seriously? Dude, Mr. Lee, please, for the love of God, call up any of these guys. Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Sean Baker, Dr. Anthony Shafee, Professor Bart K. Call one of these guys and tell them, say, look, this is what I got. My doctors have told me to do this shit, trying to kill my ass. They're trying to kill you. Low salt, no fat. They're trying to kill you. These guys are morons. These are dark age bullshit doctors. Holy shit. Icon says, Donald, got chopped corn. Been waiting for the ground to dry. Kind of slow this time of year. Snowy. Turkey Day coming. Need to get a move on. Gary says, just fine. Think I could be better. But that's the way it is. Icon sees Mr. No. We haven't hardly talked cryptids or ghosts or UFOs at all. Mr. Lee says you should put a disclaimer at the end to avoid another YouTube ban. I think I kept it within the boundaries. Better on next go around. Donald says, Icon, we may actually get some snow this year. Raptor says, Mr. No, sounds about right. Just glad to see everybody in chat. Then I know everybody's okay. Icon says, Mr. Lee is going on. Whoops. Oh, shit. Where was I at? How far behind am I? I gotta move. Can't even see where I was at. Let's see. Rep says about right. I read that one. Icon says, Mr. Lee, YouTube is going on a serious witch hunt lately about the medical stuff. This going to go poof soon after it's posted. I think I kept it within reason. Never learns. Maybe this is not medical advice. It is not medical advice. I'm sending everybody to the doctor, so good to see him. I've been waiting 62 years for that to happen. Must be God has other plans for me, says Gary. Mr. J. Fritz is here and Jen's here. Welcome to both of you. And Mr. Lee says that knucklehead from Florida is here. Hello, Jay. Jay says, had a bear run across the road yesterday on 2 legs. And yes, it was a bear. Had really short legs. Rapper says, just eat what you were eating when you were a kid. You'll be fine. Talk to your doctor to help you with your diet. It's not really that hard, says Raptor there. Jay said it yesterday meant weds. My bad. Wednesday. From a trim nails. Jay Fritz, how you been? Says Icon. Mr. Lee says, Jen, here he goes again. Yeah. Agree with the Icon. Definitely don't look to the comfortable on their hind feet, but they will do it, says Donald. About the Bears. Jen says, yeah, Mr. Lee, you need to do lives while he's on hold. Jay says, no clue, Donald. I saw it by a tree before it came across the road. It was scraping its claws on the tree like it was digging for grubs or something. Yeah, bears can definitely walk on 2 feet for short distances. They don't do it very well, but they can do it. I mean, a lot of animals can do it, but they're just not built for it, and it don't look natural when they do it. And Icon says, Jenny's good. Ate a mess of ham scraps from the compost pile. Been on well, cleared out his system. He's back up and running. Jen says, what's topic so speed tonight? Just not really, just a general whatever people bring up or whatever. I just put autumn is here because our major leaf fall just pretty much just happened. A lot of the trees are now pretty much completely bare. Some of them, like some of these oaks, they're gonna hold on to those leaves. They're not going anywhere they hold on to them really well, but we got a bunch of leaves on the ground now. But whatever people want to talk about. Jay says, autumn of my life, living it fully. Donald says, Jen, it's potpourri of topics. Jen says, usual Donald, he's working on getting in trouble again. Kind of a puree, just possible. Jay says, the only thing that's bothering me now is my feet hurt and ankle swell. Doctor said, Jay, you're getting old. Get used to it. Donald says he is, at this point, I think he's addicted to passing off the platform. No, I don't think this one won't get banned. Mr. Lee says, I would remember if I ate broccoli. Yes. Yeah. Nasty, nasty. Over 100 carcinogens in it. It's just not good for people to eat. Jason's Locky, brother, ease up. We'd like to have you around for a while. Price of olive oil has gone up, my man. Oh my God. Yeah, stay for olive oil. Olive oil is not good for you. I know for years they told us, oh, olive oil is a healthy oil, blah, 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 blah. Screw that. All you need is bacon grease and butter, man. Or whatever fat you got from animals. As long as it's fat. As long as it's an animal sourced fat. Angel says the price of everything's going up. Yeah. What were you shooting for? Jason, somebody tell Lucky I like chocolate cake. A lot of people like chocolate cake, but it's extremely bad for you. Mr. Lee says, Raptor crazy. I heard everything's gone up. Yes, it has. Jen says he'll eventually get there, Jay. Start all over. Donald says he'd be upset if we knew it. Just it's my cheat day. Oh, well, it's all right. Jen says, so Autumn, how's everyone's leaves change going? Gas is $3.90. Angel says, Jay, now I want a piece of chocolate cake and too late to go to the store. Whenever I used to eat cake, take butter and melt butter on it, heat it up in the microwave and get it fully saturated with butter. Made it much more better. The leaves don't change. And yeah, Florida is kind of warm down there. They don't get much of that. Although when we had that really heavy cold spell a couple years ago, I went to Florida, went almost down to Tampa Bay, and it was still a little cool. There was like ice on the beach in freaking Texas. Leaves don't change. Just go song. Most of them are open until 11 or 12. Icon says, Jen, long time compost pile in neighbor's yard. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, my cirrhosis is too far gone. I'm surprised I lasted this long. So are you going to be able to get a transplant? I'm like, I don't know. I can speak for me. I know that if me, I'm not going to rely on the doctors to tell me, because I've seen them tell people you're doomed too many times, and you may not be. You may not be. I mean, you're still alive today. So if you're still alive, your body's still going to be, as long as you're still alive, your body's going to be trying to heal whatever's wrong with you. Give it a chance. The doctors aren't giving it a chance. They sometimes they get shit right, but not, they didn't do it the right way. So you need to talk to the right doctors that aren't going to put you through that bullshit. So like the Professor Bart K, he talks about the Cerule product. It's spelled CERULE, which helps your body release more stem cells, and those stem cells will go to your liver and replace bad liver cells or dead liver cells with living, healthy liver cells. Of course, you always got to give the disclaimer. This product is not meant to treat blah, 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 blah. That's all on the product, or on, let's just whatever. Anyway, they sell a product, and that's the idea behind what it's supposed to do. Just still some color here. Angel says, Raptor, there is not a Sonic within a 2-hour drive from me. Donald says, Mr. Lee, if I was in better shape, I'd send you half of mine. Michael says, wow, I was trying to clean the JL booths at the adult toy stores. I bet. Mr. Lee's done all I would consider. Raptor says, Angel, sorry I didn't know that. Holy Batman. Jen says, why does it always go to poop? I don't know. Things tend to go to poop. Donald says, the racetrack I raced at had the most disgusting bathrooms I ever saw. It would be all over the place. Jay says, this show has gone completely shitty. Angel says, closest small grocery store is 10 miles, closest at 8 p.m. after Labor Day. Rep says, Angel, I guess you're going to have to stock up on root beer and vanilla ice cream so you can have a float when you want it. Small town life, we're used to it. Probably better off. You're far from town, you don't run to town to get stuff that's just going to be bad for you. Raptor says, Angel, yeah, try that in small town. We take care of our own here. Nothing better than the small town life. Airborne Speedway, Plattsburgh is under new management. The people that own Devil's Bowl are running it this year. Still work at Audie's. Sleeping Beauty. Violet Kit here saying she is Sleeping Beauty. Daughter took over your account. What? About over 400 Winn-Dixie stores. Nearest Audi, 60 miles. Angel says, Donald, I hope he has good luck getting it going. Jen says, nice, Angel. It's only a few things there I don't care for. Jay says, going to start taking over store tomorrow. Still going to use Winn-Dixie name on lots of their products, but closing all the pharmas. Donald says, Angel, I hate to say it, but the pavement racing is more popular around here. When Curly and Squire ran both Thunder Rod and Airborne, it was profitable. I guess you're talking about various places there. Aldi doesn't do pharmacy. Records to CBS. Donald says, hi, Violet. You look like I've seen you elsewhere. Usually use Wally World. Raptor says, I've never seen this Violet before, but I'm also blocked from everybody, so no big deal. Violet used to be Sleeping Beauty. Donald says, that's a pisser. I love dirt track racing. Coat of clay on you. Angel says, Donald, I seldom go, but my daughter sometimes does with the fire department. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, the doctors are considering transplant. Yes. Well, in the meantime, if you got the money to buy some cerebral product, you might want to take a look at it. Professor Bart Case talks about it all the time on his channel. That'll help, but also ceasing all poisoning of your liver and of your entire body with anything from a plant, any kind of oil. You know, if they might make a product from meat, but it has a vegetable oil in it. That oil is poisonous to humans. So all these things are not allowing your body to heal properly. these doctors will act like, well, you couldn't heal, you can't really heal from this. Yeah, while you're being poisoned constantly, because they don't know that you're being poisoned. They don't understand that these plants are poisonous. So it would be really cool if you walked in there with a fully functional liver in a couple of months, and the doctor's like, how the fuck did this happen? And you can smack them with some freaking knowledge, and they're probably gonna dismiss it, you know. So consider it, man. Don't just lay there and die. Donald says race street clock at 3093 on Renegade. Rex says, Jen, I don't know who Sleeping Beauty, just saying. She hasn't been around very much in the past, Raptor. Just a little bit here and there. Icon says, Mr. Lee, what now? Jen says, hope you get what you need, Mr. Lee. He probably got it just now in the form of words from me. Jay says, Mr. 3, they can't transplant knuckleheadedness. It's 40 where you're at, Jen. Need to close the window. Angel says, Donald, oops. Damn thing jumped on me. My grandfather and father used to drag race many years ago. Mr. Lee says, I did go yellow. I looked like Homer Simpson. I now have ascites, where fluid builds up in your abdomen. They drained 15.5 liters from me 2 weeks ago. Holy shit, dude. Do you have a little bit of fat on you? I mean, I don't know how lean you are. Hopefully, you're not extremely lean. Can you fast? I guess is what I'm getting to. Can you fast for a few days at least? Raptor says, yeah, bacon grease is pretty good for you. My great grandparents used to eat it all the time. They lived to be over 100. Jen says, goodness, Mr. Lee. Jay says, I want an e-bike at my age. I see an accident. Violet says, hi, Angel. My daughter uses this account a lot and changed my name. Y'all shouldn't. It's a very, very bad idea to share accounts with anybody. She should have her own account. There's a lot of good reason for that. Do not share accounts with people. And I don't care who they are. Training Wheels J. Angel says the kids love to mess with us. Jen says, Mr. Lee, I'm sure you feel a bit better after that. Icon says, Mr. Lee, oh, you're having equipment issues. You and your other half have my heart and best. Good, sir. Donald says, Angel, we need a local drag strip. Air Force Base. Perfect. Mr. Lee says, Jen, it was like an explosion when they drained it out. Angel says, Donald, it would have made a good one. It's a lot of fluid. Violet says, Raptor, yes, you do know who this is. I'm Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, do not share accounts. Do not share accounts. Get your kid her own account. Donald, she's Mr. Lee. Michelle says, Lockbeard, I have not been able to eat at all. I'm a bag of bones, man. Shit, man. Raptor says it, Mr. Lee. Hope everything works out. Glad you're here. Yeah, man. If you can call and consult with a carnivore doctor, say, look, you're in this kind of fucked up level of shit right now. It's you gotta be real careful about how you proceed. But if you have, I don't know, when you say bag of bones, I don't know. Some people say bag of bones, and the person isn't quite to the level of where they can't fast at all. They still got some body fat on them. If you got body fat on you, one of the best things for most things is just to stop eating, because your body has all it needs. That body that's your body saved that up for for a rainy day. You don't need anything. You don't need to eat anything. If you got any body fat on you at all, you don't need to eat anything. As long as you got that, like look up that guy, that Angus fella. He didn't need anything for a year. He didn't need to eat anything because he had so much damn fat on him. Your body stores that to use when you don't have food, because that is food. So Rep says, Mr. Lee, hope everything works out. Glad you're here. Donald says, yes, Angel. Plattsburgh was an emergency option for the space shuttle. Violet says, prayers going out for you. Sorry to hear. Icon says, Violet, I don't know about that. You look to be a bit on the small side. Mr. Lee says, Raptor, thank you and everyone. Jay says, it's a doctor check for jaundice, Mr. Lee. He said he went yellow. Violet says she does have her own account, but decided to get on mine too. Yeah. You might want to change your password and don't tell her what the password is. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Angel says, Donald, I think it still could be if they cleared the planes off the runways. Danny says, wow, Lee, maybe you should move them. Islands are bad for your health. Donald says, yes, Angel, runway is long. Mr. Lee says, Jay, yes, I had jaundice, but it's gone now. But the fluid keeps building up and up. I cannot ride my bike no more. Donald says, damn it, Mr. Lee, we need to find a matching liver. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, I have malnutrition, apparently. That's a bad situation. The doctors, is that the only term they use, was malnutrition? Or have you been unable to eat for so long that you've gotten into this condition? This release is on. The good thing is have universal blood, so the blood type don't matter. Donald says, are they actively looking, Mr. Lee? Mr. Lee, call one of the I don't know which one to be the best when you're talking about liver problems, but if you call one of the carnivore doctors and say, look, I got regular doctors over here trying to deal with this, and see what they say. They may have a doctor who is a carnivore doctor who deals with this type of condition more in a specialized manner. That would be better to advise you what to do. But if you're severely malnourished, man. and you can't eat, like just some steak, just some fat off of a steak or something. You take a little, some meat, but some steak with plenty of fat, basically. And nothing else. No plants. None. No keto. That's what I'm trying to get through everybody's head here. Keto is just a stepping stone to help you transition into carnivore. You've got to understand this. It's a stepping stone. It's not the end of the road. Keto is not the end of the road. It helps a lot, but it's not the end of the road. If you want to be able to cure 1,000 different illnesses, this is not medical device, blah 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 blah. The doctors will tell you a bunch of shit's not curable, and that's bullshit. It's caused by eating poisonous shit, and the poisonous shit is plants. Humans killed mastodons and mammoths, and there's a whole bunch of other species. There's dozens of these different species of these giant. Like look into some of that shit. Gigantic. You had some of them that had like a scoop kind of thing coming off their bottom lip instead of tusk. Some of them had tusks that came out of their bottom jaw instead of their top jaw. Some had tusks that came out of both jaws. All these different forms of different types of elephants over the last few million years, or well, tens of millions of years. But the important ones, though, were the more recent ones during our evolutionary history between the time we diverged from the chimpanzees until now. And our buddies, the Sasquatch came out of us, obviously. But we specialize. Well, we specialized in killing those gigantic fatty red meat animals. That's what we ate. We didn't eat salad. There was no salad bar. We didn't have potatoes. Potatoes weren't discovered until just several hundred years ago. It's a very, very recent. Something like tomatoes, that was only discovered a few hundred years ago. I mean, natives that were here for several thousand years, they would have had them, but they didn't eat them, as far as I know, because the plant's poisonous, and the poisons are in the tomato. It's just in low levels, so you don't just drop dead. But it's not good for you. Tomatoes are not good for you. You got people out there that actually believe that tomatoes are a health food. They're not. They're poisonous. You eat it, your body tolerates it well enough that you don't freaking die, but it's not good for you. And potatoes are not good for you. They both have toxins in them. Danny says my liver is in great shape. Just sterilize it with vodka regularly. No, Danny, don't do that. We want you to be around for a very long time. Very long time. Some of the estimates that are being thrown around out there that people that eat carnivore diet their entire life would live healthy and strong and functional until 125, 130, 140 years. But that's our actual lifespan is what it's supposed to be. We are actually all dying early. We're all dying early because we eat these toxic things and our body degrades. And so we spend the last few decades of our lives falling apart when we're not supposed to be. You look at some of these primitive cultures where, they're still eating some plants, but they're not eating all the crap that we do that makes it even worse. And so even though they're still eating some plants, they are functioning very well into extreme old age. Old men scampering up trees and shit. Meanwhile, we got people end up on a walker by the time they're in their 50s in some cases. It's not supposed to happen. Raptor says, just take care of yourself. I'll be praying in the background as long as I can see you on Locks chats. Sleeping Beauty says, I'm back. Yeah, you said to change your name. Change your freaking password and don't let anyone else on your account. That person can go and they can see, you know, what your whole history is, what channels you've been on, what comments you've made. They can see everything you've said in the chats. They can see all that stuff. You don't need people getting on your account. Donald says, Danny will get you drunk for sure. Danny's will get you drunk for sure. Mr. Lee says, Donald, not yet. I still have more extensive tests to do. Then it comes down to one doctor to decide. Yeah. So the chance you're going to get a death sentence. Dude, start talking to one of the carnivore doctors now, man. Don't wait. These guys are going to fuck up and you're risking your life. You need to talk to a carnivore doctor. You know, there's very few doctors in the world that understand this thing. The rest of those doctors out there have no education in nutrition at all. And what little, you know, just very little. They had like one class. And what they got was some bullshit. It's extremely basic to start with, but it's also, it's not accurate. Okay. These nutritionists are morons. They don't know dick about fuck, as Professor Bart K would say. So I'm sick of watching people die because they just can't wrap their minds around and believe this. Like, you know, there's tons of information. I mean, you know, just ask whatever questions you need. I'll, you know, try and give you what I can, but it's hard because if you'd have no college level, you know, education in human physiology, it's hard to, you know, it's hard to explain certain things. And if you don't have any archaeological knowledge about the certain evidences behind, you know, like you need to, because if I can tell you, you know, kind of the end result and the conclusion, and people doubt. They're like, oh, I never heard this, and I don't know this, and well, yeah, because you don't know this. I know this, and I'm trying to tell you, and you can go and educate yourself and try to understand, you know, why I know, and many other people out there know, that humans are designed to be 100% carnivores. Fatty red meat primarily. Some other meats are fine, but you want to really focus on the fatty red meat. Some fish from the ocean, but shellfish and stuff is fine, but primarily fatty red meat. Our ancestors made those big fucking spears to take down really big fucking 13,000 pound animals and just sit there and eat on decaying fatty meat for weeks. I mean, tons of animal there, tons. And some of them back in the day were bigger than the elephants today. Like the ones you're familiar with, like woolly mammoth and the mastodon, are kind of the main ones that people have heard about. Those are roughly the same, in the same size range as today's African bush elephant, right? So they weren't really giants. There were some others that existed that were way bigger. And then there were other animals, Paraceratherium or whatever it is, like a relative of the rhino. Like a lot of these animals were in North America. This, you know, but as well, like there was huge, gigantic animals, way bigger than even the elephants. Rhinoceros ancestors, camel ancestors. Camels came out of North America originally, and then they, you know, well, it's a convoluted path, but there were lots of big, freaking, really big camels in North America, but the camels, the whole mess of them went extinct in North America. What survives of them today is the dromedary and the Bactrian camels over in Middle East and Asia and all that. People try to say that's 3 different species. It's not. It's one species. They try to call it more. God damn it! You know this is my my pet peeve. Like they can't keep the same rule for what it is. What is a species? That's the definition for it. It's whatever group of animals that can breed with each other. That's a species. Anything that can't breed with them is not part of that species. And normally that's what the rule means, but sometimes they get out of that. And with the freaking camelids, they do. The Bactrian, which is the 2-hump camel, and the dromedary camel, which is a bigger camel with 1 hump, but it has a vestigial second hump. It's just been bred out in them, and like in the fetuses, there's the humps are there, but they're the same species. They can breed, and then they try to split the Bactrian into the feral version and the domestic. Well, that's the same as wolves and dogs. They're the same species still. They can interbreed, but anyway, that's a whole getting on a side path there. So they're really just one species, and I think they can hybridize with the alpacas and the llamas here in South America, which are also a branch off this group. The llamas and the alpacas can interbreed with each other. They try to act like they're 2 species and they're not. And then there's wild versions of both in South America, and they'll try to act like those are also separate species, but they're not. They're all one species, just different breeds, different races. Maybe you can call them subspecies if they're differentiated enough, but they are not differentiated enough to be separate species. So scientists, get your shit together out there. Follow the rules of what species designation is. These are subspecies, not species. You have, genus up here, you have species. There's a certain definition for what a species is supposed to be, and you assholes can't seem to stick to it. A red wolf is not a separate species either. It's a freaking hybrid between 2 different breeds of that canid, between gray wolf and coyotes. Coyotes are the same species as wolves. They can breed with them just fine, but they're very, very well differentiated, but they breed together, so they're the same species. They're separate subspecies. That's the level of different. That's the name. That's what you're dealing with there. But they fucking scientists, man, they mess this up so often it's become meaningless. The species designation has become meaningless because sometimes it means what it's supposed to mean. If you look up the definition, it's every member. It's every animal that can breed together normally. They're all member of that one species. But other times they fuck that up. So anyway, humans specialize in killing all this crap. Lots and lots of different types of just gigantic, fatty, red-meated animals, and we ate a bunch of them bitches. We didn't farm. We didn't farm until all our prey died, because people were having a hard time finding food, so they were screwed, and they started eating whatever they could. Might fill your stomach, but it's poisonous to you. So it's going to shorten your lifespan. It's going to cause you not to grow right. Human brain size went down. Teeth started going bad. All kinds of shit. So it's all about the meat. That's what our species is. Just like a mosquito must drink blood, humans must eat meat. A whale must filter feed. That's what it's designed to do. You're not going to give a filter feeding whale a salad. It's not going to work. You're not going to give it a steak. That's not going to work. Thoughts and prayers. Best of luck. Mr. Lee says, Lockbeard, I couldn't eat just tiny amounts of food, if anything, because I felt so full. what I did eat, I was throwing up again. Shit, man. Donald says carrying that much fluid, you would feel full. Potato toxin says Icon. Yummy, yummy. Deadly potato gas, though. Yeah, it's not good for you. Danny says, Lee, somebody done put the hocus pocus on you. Oh my God, you should find a witch like Daniela to take the jinx off. She is a witch. Raptor says, and add Sleeping Beauty, what channels did I know you from? I've been blocked from all channels for 3 months, so I don't remember. Raptor, it would only be this channel. Not the other channels. It would only be this channel, Raptor. Mr. Lee says, Dan, I've considered I may have a curse put on me. Yes. You don't. The only curse you have on you is the freaking the doctors you're using. and you haven't gone fully carnivore. People get themselves in trouble thinking they can just live on keto for the rest of their life. I mean, you can, but your life's not going to be as long, and you're not going to be able to heal from the damages you did earlier in life for however you did it, right? Everybody's damaged from eating the bad foods, but drinking and whatever else you may have been taking in, or something you were exposed to on the job, or whatever it is. Sleep Beauty says, "No, I make sure nothing is tracked." Not good enough. You just don't let people use your account. It doesn't matter. Just don't. You'll miss something. You will miss something. Danny says Burgess Meredith lived to be 98. He only ate breakfast, bacon, eggs, and ham, stuff like that. Rapper says, I thought Daniela went off the air. She only has her private channel, and she only does that here and there. Yeah, her channel seems to be done for. Danny says, Lee, hold your hand under candlelight and see if there is the witch's star. You'll see a red outline of the stars if you have been jinxed or hexed. Gary says, ran out cigs, had to roll some. Yeah, that does suck. Danny says, that's where that crap in the werewolf movies comes from. The gypsies could tell if you were cursed by palmistry. Donald says Lockbeard needs to hurry up and bring back woolly mammoths. Woolly mammoths would be nice. I wish I could share a screen. Oh, let me see if I can find. Let's see if I can't share a screen and show you like a comparison between. Is there no way to share screen on freaking YouTube, man? Hold on a second. Hopefully, I'm still. Am I still broadcasting? Tell me in the chat if you still see me. I should be good. Yeah, I don't know of any. I don't know. It sucks. that I can't share screen. Trying to remember the name of the really big one. Paleo Loxodon. Pneumaticus, that's the one. Pneumaticus. Paleo Loxodon Pneumaticus. Big motherfucker. Shoulder at the height at the shoulder, 14.8 feet for that one. I know there's some bigger estimates. Fragmentary femur from the same locality was said to be almost a quarter larger, assuming it's 20% larger. Volumetric analysis. Speculative size estimate of 17 feet at the shoulder. 22 tons. That's Paleo Loxodon Pneumaticus, which would be about, getting up there in the size to the biggest in the rhino family. There was this huge beast in the rhino family called Paraceratheridae, and well, that's the family, but there were different ones. But the Paraceratherium would be one you could look up. That thing, the shoulder height was 15 feet, and it was about 24 feet long, and somewhere between 15 and 20 tons. So 33,000 to 44,000 pound animal. It's a big bitch. Not as big as some of the big dinosaurs, but that's pretty damn big. But yeah, I'd like to see a lot of these extinct species brought back. That'd be cool. In the meantime, maintaining a herd of just elephants in North America would get a head start, and then come in eventually, once you be able to create the fetuses to impregnate them with woolly mammoth offspring, and then slowly turn the herd into woolly mammoth or mastodon or some other species, depending on what DNA we got. And so you would just come in and implant embryos, and then allow the African bush elephants to raise up the young that you produce, the young fetuses that you produce for the woolly mammoth and the mastodons, and that were native, native animals. They're supposed to be here. So, Mr. Lee says, Donald, that's what I'm saying. Bring back the mammoths. Mr. Lee says, llama and alpaca, the same species? Yeah, they are, Mr. Lee. They can interbreed just fine. The interbreed is safe. For whatever reason, damn scientists, some of these scientists want to say, well, they got these differences, so we should call them separate species. No, you need to have a designation for the whatever, every animal that can breed with each other, they're a member of one group, and you need to have a word for that group. Now, according to the definition of species, that's what that particular group is supposed to be. Species. If it don't fit into those parameters, then you designate it either genus above that level or subspecies below species, right? It's supposed to be one of those. Why did they insist on calling something that doesn't fit the definition of species separate species? Why do they insist on calling them separate species when they're not, according to the definition of species? It's maddening. So when someone tells you, well, there's two different species of these over here, and you have a reasonable expectation, you should be able to have an expectation of precision science, right? That these two things are two different animals that cannot breed together, and you could maybe put them in the same cage and nothing's going to happen. Well, that's not true. A lot of times the scientists are insisting that two things are separate species when they are not separate species, and they can interbreed because they are the same type of animal. You put a beagle and a dachshund into a cage, and it's the same thing. They're different breeds, but they're the same animal. They're both dogs. They're the same species, and they will interbreed. But yeah, llamas and alpaca, same species. Donald says, hold on. Girls, you'll be amazed at me wearing a loincloth eating mammoth. Sleeping Beauty says, raptor. You're asking too many questions. Raptor always asks a bunch of questions. I don't know why. Danny says, if they did bring back the mammoths in 10 years, you will be buying mammoth burger for $4.99 a pound. Humans, yay. Yeah. I want to eat some mammoth steaks, man. Donald says, girls, it was supposed to be the funny, I don't look like Vault does. Whoops. Chat jumped in my videos. Raptor says, Sleep Beauty. Okay, sorry. Glad you're here. Glad you're okay. Have a good one. Danny says, I want to be like Fred Flintstone in the car with the giant mammoth rib on the little tray. Yeah, you'd only need one rib. You're not going to order a rack of ribs. You're going to order one rib. But shoot, we just can't. People, they're having a hard time keeping our existing elephants going because people want to just take the freaking tusk. If they would just harvest tusk, go in and just go into the herd, harvest the tusk, take the tusk off. So when people who want to kill elephants for tusks, well, they're only going to get a short piece, so they'll stop. Instead, they can just have some kind of. I hate to have the government be totally in control of it. Have some legitimate businessmen who get a permitted and contracted to where they can go in and harvest tusk and sell them under legal circumstances properly. You go in and you tranquilize the herd, remove the tusk, but not you want to leave them some, but I hate to do that to them. You don't want to do that to them, but the reality is if you don't, you're constantly, you're going to be under more pressure from poachers trying to come in and just kill the damn elephant for the tusk. All the confiscated tusk, use them to flood the market, drive the price down. Hell, they had a whole bunch of them and they burn them, like don't burn them. All those elephants died for nothing. You could have used those tusks to just keep, selling them into the market to get the price down and where the poachers can't make any money. But see, the government's not stupid. They knew that. They knew by destroying all those tusks, they were keeping that price up high, and they probably, they're probably out there poaching themselves, some of them. can see me. Yeah, just making sure. I thought maybe something went wrong with the stream. Hot tea, says Jen. Mr. Lee says 22 tons. Oh my God. Yeah, there were some big freaking animals. They would have gotten bigger if a big freaking rock didn't hit the planet. Because I mean, they weren't. These animals were not as big as a lot of the dinosaurs. But that's just because they didn't have time. You know, because it takes time to because you got to slowly creep up on that size increase. Because all the systems of the body gotta evolve to be able to handle that weight. You can't just take a small animal and add 50,000 tons to it and everything be fine. It takes a while to evolve the systems that can handle that. So, but it would have happened. It would a lot of those animals would have grown in size bigger and bigger over the generations until we had stuff the size of dinosaurs again. But we didn't have a chance this go around because of the Younger Dryas impact. I mean, we still got some pretty big, animals. We got, elephants and whatnot, but hell, I believe the blue whale is still considered the largest animal to ever exist on Earth. It's a living thing right now. The biggest animal ever to exist is alive right now. So, Danny says that's a lot of meat, 22 tons. Too old to get back in the ability for hair coverage. Sleep Beauty says, gotta go. Lock, have a good night. Chat, have a good night. Good night, Sleep Beauty. Bigger loader tractor hoists carcass that big. Icon says, yeah, I imagine you would have to go out there and cut the animal up into pieces. I mean, but imagine if we could bring back some of those species and then, you pretty much go out there and, I mean, I just don't see how you could do anything else but cut it up and load it up in pieces. Have a good night, Sleep Beauty, says Angel. Raptor Crazy says, Sleep Beauty, have a good one. Have a good one. Mr. Lee says, Donald, you don't go to no pubs. Not enough to cover my body, says Donald. Icon says, Donald, go to Locks of Love. Make yourself a merkin. That was going to make me a new Clunt video, too. A little short. There's another Clunt video I need to make. Kind of a sequel to the last one. Donald says, please like, share. Bolt BS. Icon says a mammoth rib might be worth eating. Ain't enough meat otherwise. Yeah. A big old rib, man. Crack that sucker open, get that marrow, man. Yeah, Jen says Icon's reviving the merkin. Donald says like, share that video. Mr. Lee says Monster Hunting Task Force make me laugh every time. Been on you about the merkin. Nothing provides more merriment than the mighty merkin. Says Icon. Mr. Lee says, what is rock didn't hit our planet? How different would Earth be? I don't know, man. Well, I mean, our civilization might not have formed the way it did. Because a lot of shit happened to turn us on a weird path. Because there was a civilization before. It ain't like there wasn't a civilization. It isn't like we needed that to happen for civilization to happen. Civilization happened just fine when we were just hunters. Because, you know, these archaeologists and all these assholes out here, they want you to think that humans couldn't, you know, form civilization until after they started living, you know, with all the agriculture and sedentary lifestyle and stuff like that. But the reality is they were living sedentary lifestyle to some extent before, way before. All those stone structures, tens of thousands of different stone structures, pyramids and temples and stuff that all match each other, opposite sides of the globe, using stone construction techniques that we can't really replicate today. We even if we wanted to build one, like the Great Pyramid, just the one pyramid. There's hundreds and hundreds of pyramids, but just that one, we would be like, no, this costs too much. It's going to take too damn long to build. We can't lift rocks that big. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why we can't really do it. Well, they had the ability to do it because they had technology more advanced than us 15,000, 20,000, 30,000 years ago. It's hard to pinpoint exactly when, because mainstream archaeology is trying to hide this shit. They're trying to tell you that some of this shit that's 30,000 years old, they're trying to tell you it's only 4,000 years old. And it's bullshit. It's a fucking lie. But so but anyway, that civilization got, when the Younger Dryas impact event, the Earth got hit by something, you know, big asteroid or something. They think in Greenland, the Hiawatha crater. Every time I bring this up, somebody on Facebook or something, are you talking about the one that killed dinosaurs? No. Look, the Earth has been hit by asteroids over and over and over and over and over and over again. Look at the moon. It's covered in pot marks. There's a reason. There's always shit flying at the planet. But it seems like a bunch of people have it in their head that the Earth has only been hit once, and that was the one that killed the dinosaurs. That happened long time ago. So what I'm talking about happened only 13,000 years ago and wiped out a major technologically advanced civilization beyond what we fucking know today. Beyond us. Very different from us and beyond us. And because we couldn't replicate what's there. And we haven't uncovered half of it. The result of that impact event caused the sea level to rise 400 feet. So most of that civilization's underwater. It got flooded. That's where your flood stories come from. Every civilization around the planet has a flood story because the sea level rose 400 feet and flooded out every coastal region, hundreds and hundreds of square miles of continental shelf everywhere that used to be occupied areas got flooded. Everybody got flooded out, except for people that were on the high ground. That's still what we have today. But humans back then were no doubt similar to we are today, in that we typically, our populations concentrate near the coast, near water, and which means that's low-lying areas, and then they would have gotten completely flooded out. If the sea level rose 400 feet today, you know, New York's gone. The whole freaking state of Florida is pretty much gone, you know. People don't realize this shit. So most of our civilization, like the majority of the people on the planet, if the sea level rose 400 feet, the majority of the people on the planet would have to move. They would be flooded out of their homes. And that's what it looks like happened to them. And the sea level hasn't gone back down. It hasn't gone back down since then. So what would we look like today? We would still have all these big megafauna running around. And we wouldn't be asking, you know, who the UFOs are, because we would know that they are us. Right? Everybody's assuming that UFOs are aliens, and they're not thinking, well, maybe they're what's left of the ancient civilization, that they had this stuff and they created this stuff, and that's why they're here, is because they come from here. They're not from somewhere else. They're from here, and they just stay out of sight today. They just stay out of sight. I can't say that. I can't say that as a fact. I'm just saying, apply some Occam's razor here. Why would aliens come and visit our planet? Our planet, we see humans think that we're special. You don't think that there's a million other planets out here that have everything that we got? Not exactly the same, but they all have, shit that evolved and stuff to study. And all those aliens, they had all the shit. Look at the shit we got on our planet, like an octopus. An octopus. That's a pretty weird thing, right? And we have it right here, you know. And there's a million different types of animal life and plant life, fungi, all these different types of things that we have here. When we go out there, we're going to see just other combinations of the same old shit. But we got people that say, "Oh, I saw these grays aliens. They look like a little human, right? The head's bigger, and all that stuff. But it's got this big bulbous head, but it's a human shaped little thing. It's basically a Chihuahua version of a human. It's so similar to human. You gotta be nuts if you think the first alien life we encounter looks that much like us, when most everything on our planet is way more different from us than that supposed alien. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. That's not a fucking alien. That's a type of human. That's a little race of humans. That's what that is, if it's real. Occam's razor properly applied. The simplest explanation must be truth. Simplest explanation is they're from here. Why in the hell would aliens that come from millions of miles or millions of light years away or wherever the hell they're supposed to come from, and they just happen to look just like us or very, very, very similar to us? That alien is extremely similar to us when you start thinking about, okay, what about the other life on our planet? Even if you just stick to the more intelligent things. Elephants, we were just talking about elephants. Elephants are very intelligent. That's a weird looking thing compared to us. It's way different from us compared to this little gray alien. Octopus, same thing, pretty damn intelligent. Maybe one day they'll develop a civilization of their own. But the reality is that basically what I'm saying is by the time we learn everything about all the life on our planet, the first planet we go to out there, we're not going to really see anything much new, right? There might be a few things, but our life on our planet tried every combination, tried every little thing, tried to fill every niche. We got shit that can live in high pressure, deep sea water that's 700 degrees, well above boiling. We've seen it. We've seen it. We're gonna go, and then we'll go to another planet maybe, and we'll see. Well, shit, this isn't as crazy as we thought it was going to be. Life evolved here, and it tried all the different combinations and all the different niches. It's not exactly the same as Earth, but basically the same thing. After about 4 or 5 planets, we're going to figure out that there's really nothing to see. There's really nothing to see. And we're also going to figure out that it takes too much time and it's too dangerous, and it's better just to stay home, send out probes to just send up thousands of probes and let them, just drones, right? They'll go out and they'll send back data, and we can analyze it here and stay safe on our planet where we evolved, where we're designed to be, instead of flying around the universe acting like we're going to be in Star Trek. It's not going to be like Star Trek. I'm sorry. It's just not. But so yeah, it would be a different world. Yeah, that civilization would have continued. We would never gone down the path that we've gone down, where we have all this ridiculousness we have today. We have all these wars and stuff. We have people talking about, oh my gosh, Israel, blah blah. It's like, yeah, you're acting like Israel wasn't doing those same types of atrocities to the other people there all along, because they have been. Israel is just as guilty as the other side. I'm not making an excuse for the other side. I'm saying they've been doing this shit to each other for decades. Have you not been paying attention? Israelis were over there cutting babies out of pregnant women and butchering them in front of them years ago, right? Sorry, it's gruesome. It's horrible. Israel is just as guilty as the other side. They've been doing this shit all along, and we've been funding it. Right? We keep sending them billions of dollars and funding it. We're funding baby killers, and now you're like, oh my gosh, these other ones, and now Israel's talking about shooting a nuke off. You stop supporting them. They're not who they say they are anyway. They're lying. Everybody thinks they're the chosen people. No, they're not. That's another scam you fell for. No, they're not. Provide one piece of shred of evidence for that. You can't, because it's not true. It's a fucking lie. Israel was a lie from the very beginning. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if people believe, because people are like, oh, well, yeah, because it's become a religious thing, and that's what they did. They played off your religious beliefs. So all they knew that if they told you that they're the chosen people, you would just assume, well, there must be good people, and they must be who they say they are. You never question for a minute that they might be fucking lying. Yeah, that's a contentious issue. I know. I'm sorry, but people are afraid to even touch it. Like, oh my God, no! Look, no, Israel's been killing babies themselves, buddies. They're just as guilty, and I've talked about before. We're not even going to talk much about paranormal shit tonight, I guess. But I've talked about before. 1967, the attack on USS Liberty, where Israel killed 30-something crew members of our people, and then they also opened fire on the lifeboats, which is a big no, serious act of war, heinous shit. You're not supposed to shoot at lifeboats, okay? Israel did this, and they did it to their ally. We're supposed to be an ally, and killed our people. Now, since that, they've paid us, some money since then. But they claim they didn't know who we were. They knew damn well who we were. They're fucking lying. Anyway, we should have bombed them into oblivion in 1967. June 9th, 1967, we should have ended their ass for doing that shit. They killed 30-something of our people, and we just let it fucking slide. No. And if we had done that, there wouldn't be this shit going on today. And it's been going on for decades. It's never-ending fighting over there, and it will never goddamn stop. It will never stop. Stay out of it. Just walk away. Stop giving them money and walk away. But people have this strong religious belief concerning Israel, and it's bullshit. You do not know who those people actually are. You've been told something, and it's been used to create this whole issue and all this war and stuff, and war makes money for people. It was people that were a member of that particular group who were helping the Nazis. They were part of it. A certain one is well known. He's admitted it on camera. He helped them. He was a collaborator. Are you piecing it together yet? Holy shit. You've been scammed. Everything, if the government says that it's a scam, it's pretty much where we're at. Sorry, but the truth's horrible, but it's the reality. Volt's big toe is back, it looks like. He says, Mr. Lee, you better watch shit. The toe is extra smelly today. Icon says, if rock didn't hit the planet, we'd still be stuck with Big Band, Mr. Lee. Donald says, the Clunt needs to come back. Yeah, I got another Clunt video that I need to make. If I can get my shit to work. Like, I'm still having a hard time making shit work. I mean, most of it's working. I mean, the downloads and stuff is working. But, like, for whatever damn reason, Canva's been real glitchy. I need it to work. And certain other little functions aren't working correctly. So, Did I get far behind in the hitting all the old stuff, the mighty Merkin and the Clunt? Yeah. Donald says, yeah, it's been a while, Jen. Who knows how many civilizations rose and fell in the 65 million years since the dinosaurs, says Danny. Yeah, it's hard to say. Like if I'm having a hard time and other people are having a hard time convincing most people today of a civilization that existed just up until 13,000 years ago. It's been obliterated so badly that it isn't like it just isn't obvious to people, and we're having a hard time convincing them. And it's only from 13,000 years ago. If you had another civilization that existed between 115 and 100,000 years ago, well, imagine how deteriorated the remains of that civilization would be. We'd have a hard time finding anything. What about 200,000 years ago, 300,000 years ago? And then you're starting to talk millions, 1 million, 2 million, all the way back to 65 million years ago. There could have been, who knows how many civilizations rose of species that were not human before us. But we know for sure that there was a serious, major, worldwide, world-spanning, technologically advanced civilization that existed up until roughly about 13,000 years ago. It might have lingered because I see Raptor Crazy's bringing up the 11,000. He's thinking about what he's thinking about there is the 11,600 number, roughly, or 11,800 number, somewhere in there where a secondary disaster happened. It appears like there may have been a 1-2 punch where they got whacked really good and then they got whacked one more time for good measure, and so they may have been lingering after the first disaster, but then the second one just knocked her dick plain in the dirt. Jen says call back to what, 2 or 3 years ago? No, it was like a year ago, or a little over a year ago. I don't think it was as much as 2 years ago. I think it was a year and a half, maybe at the most. I had a date of some kind somewhere. I mentioned it in that last video, that Clunt video. Like I can't remember. Donald says, yeah, it's been a while. It hasn't been 3 years. I know that. It hasn't been 3 years. Danny says, who knows how many civilizations rose and fell in 65 minutes? I already read that. Didn't we progress to fur-bearing Clunt? I don't know. Did we? Jen says, probably. I kind of went through a lot of in a short time. Raptor says, I still think there was actual civilizations before 11,000 years ago. Exactly. And there could have been a great many of them. Rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall. That's why we need to get our shit together. We need to be the civilization that gets our shit together to where we do what we need to do to preserve our civilization no matter what happens. And so far, it just hasn't happened that I see any evidence for anyway. And unless those UFOs really are the remains of the last civilization, and they really are there. Mr. Lee says, Raptor, that's my opinion too. Icon says, Hiawatha Crater, he was a quick little bastard, huh? Donald says, we got one that could hit Valentine's Day 2035, I think. Better odds than the lottery. Jen says, I have a piece of Moldavite, which comes from a meteor that hit in Germany 15 million years ago. Raptor says, Jen, how is it that did you buy it? Was it for sale or did you just inherit it? Jen says it's green. It has waves and bubbles in it. Mr. Lee, looks really cool. Yeah, you're all wondering where you got it. They're wondering where you got it. Donald says, Only thing I got is a bottle of the volcanic ash from Mount St. Helens. You know, where the government lifted Bigfoot bodies out and had civilized conversations with Bigfoot survivors. So they say. So they say. Tektites and Moldavite. I don't have a wrench, or I post a link. Oh yeah, Jen don't have a wrench, do she? Do she? Fix that. There it is, Donald Johns. Where's Jen's? Give Jen a wrench, says Mr. Lee. Icon says there's an algae growing in the polluted tailings pond at the mine in Butte. Nature has a way. Yeah. Well, there's some kind of what was it? Some kind of, it was a microbe or a fungus or something growing down there where the slag, the melted, like from the meltdown at Chernobyl. Like, there's things that can grow in that shit. Nature has a way. Icon says, Jen says, no biggie. I'm usually at work Saturdays. I just had an early one today. Wrench you, yeah. Mate Dave has shiitake mushrooms growing behind his toilet. No lie. Donald says, yeah, they didn't know it was bullshit. Gotta grow them somewhere. Raptor says, don't give her shit, Rich. She'll block you. Nah, she won't block you. Mr. Lee, doppelganger. Whatever, Raptor. Donald says, Raptor, she won't. She knows better. Mr. Lee says, Donald, yes, he has been helping me a lot, actually, my new chauffeur. Jen says, no one blocks anyone here. Yeah, that's how I handle it. If someone's going to need blocking, I'll block them. The buck stops here, but for the most part, I don't care. They can come in, they can disagree, whatever. I mean, I don't know if they get like verbally abusive towards others in the chat, then we're gonna have a problem. Stuff like that. They'd have to be trying to be just an asshole and disruptive, and before he gets to a blocking situation. Mr. Lee says Tom Cruise is not allowed to encourage the peeps to join Scientology on LOCKBEARD channel. Must be YouTube. Tom Cruise can do what he wants. Raptor says, I like Jen. She's helped me quite a bit on the other channels over the years. I have no problem with her at Jen. No offense. Jen's a sweetheart. Mr. Lee says, Raptor, and she's pretty too. Raptor says, Donald, yes, Raptor says, Donald, yes, she is at Jen. Thank you. Icon says, do I really need to hand out history books before making a funny? Probably. Jen says, Donald, Mr. Lee. Raptor says, Mr. Lee, you don't need to bring that up. She already told me she has a big husband. Jen says, I had a big boyfriend. He's no longer here. He's someone else's issue now. Blue Tool. Yep. Danny says, hey, Lee, were you sick before you moved? If not, you may want to check your house for molds and fungus. Some of that crap can make you sick. Raptor says, sorry to hear that, Jen. Jen says, it's all good, Raptor. He was a cheater. He can go. Mr. Lee says, Dan, yes, I was first diagnosed with cirrhosis 5 years ago and was beginning to feel ill again before I moved. Uncle Bob says, Mr. Lee, yes, what Danny said, country house may have molds. Rapper says, Jen, there's a lot of good guys out there. Just take your time. Don't play into the prince idea of a man. Donald says, Jen, you are better off. We can be pains in the bum. Pains in the bum. Gary says, good night. Yeah. So, man, I caught up with the chat. I've been seeing people, that bring up the train video, the Bigfoot train video, and people stating as if it's an absolute conclusive fact that the dude, the campground guy with the Bigfoot costume, is who you're seeing there. Some people were trying to say that that they were working together. It was a publicity stunt between the people, the train, and the. You don't actually know any of that. I mean, I keep telling them that. I said, look, you're speculating. That's speculation. Look, I put somewhere, just because Jack the Ripper lives in that neighborhood and a woman gets killed in the same manner that Jack the Ripper kills women, doesn't prove that he did it. It could be someone that just happened to do it the same way. It could be someone else. It could be a copycat killer. But you're jumping on there and stating it as an absolute fact. So I've been asking people, can you show me actual evidence? You're just taking, circumstances, blah, 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 and you're assuming that you got it figured out and stating it as if it's an absolute fact. Now, considering what we know, like we know there's a dude with a Bigfoot costume, nearby. Is it most likely that's the case? Sure, we'll say that. But like Struford over there at the coalition said, it conclusive. And when I told him, I said, no, you can't say conclusive. You don't actually know for a fact that that dude in his suit was the one sitting in the field. There's still a slight chance that there was a real Bigfoot sitting there, right? Because you can't say that, because people are saying, oh, I can tell it's a costume. Yeah, I looked at that film and I can't conclusively say that that's a costume. And I don't think anyone else can. I mean, they may claim they can, but you can't say that conclusively. So, but we can say, most likely that's what's going on. But no one's proven squat. No one's proven squat. Donald says, thanks, Lockbeard. Fun show. Take care, Gary, says Icon. Jen says, I'm not worried about it, really. If I find someone, great. If not, meh. Same here. Well, Mr. Lee says, Uncle Bon's considering it's a very old building. Surprisingly, there's no visible mold. I know mold spores are invisible. Icon says, it ain't so bad being a hermit. Uncle Bon says, Jen, you always have me. Jen says, okay, Moldavite. She's putting up a gemsociety.org article. Mr. Lee says, where's Cowboy? Are you lurking, Cowboy? He probably wandered off. He probably went off to eat some mashed taters or something. Donald says, when mom passes, I'm hitting the highway so many places and people I want to visit. Harper says, Jen, the site you just put up, is that for the stone you have? Is that what you found? Bought some. Roger says, Jen, thank you. I'll look at that after the show. I saw where, let me see if I can find it now. That y'all, if you haven't seen what happened with South Park and the Pander verse, you ought to check it out. It's funny as hell. They ripped woke nonsense apart, and they're crying. The woke tards are crying. Trying to see if I can find. Just a second. I go click a tab and it loads up a page, and then it starts sitting there just churning, and it can't do anything. Shut the fuck up, Stewie. Was not meaning to click that. Lost Cryptids Conservatory, as I recall, was going to, 10:05. The Lost Cryptids Conservatory. I don't know how logical it's going to be, but late show, more Bigfoot and hoaxes 6. So if you're someone looking for some more stuff in about an hour, he's supposed to go live. The Caffeinated Cryptids going to go live tomorrow night, looks like. That's tomorrow night. Skinwalker Ranch. But again, that channel, he's pretty damn woo. It's pretty damn woo. Trying to see if there's anything else for tonight. Jeff Mara. Maybe not. I'm not seeing anything else tonight. Saturday's a lean night, though. Great looking stint gem. Jen says, yeah, emerald green or green glass bottle color. So some value, very interesting. Can be pricey. Got a nice one. Wasn't expensive. Hold on a second. Let's see. Y'all go over there, tell them Lockbeard sent you. In a little bit over an hour from now, he's supposed to be live. Gotta watch out a little bit for Woo over there, but it's not too crazy typically. Don't seem like he hasn't been doing it. He hasn't been doing his live streams really regular, so So you take it when you can get it, but must have some value. Very interesting, says Donald. Jen says it can be pricey. I got a nice one. Wasn't too expensive. Just depends on where you get it from. Dig for the crystals and rocks, says Raptor. Mr. Lee says it's raining. Donald says, does it have the same elemental recipe as emerald? Jen says, not in a while. Raptor used to find fossils when I lived in Pennsylvania. All right, well, we've been going for 3 hours. It's getting late for me. Ask more cryptid stuff or bring up more cryptid stuff in the chat so you can keep me off of other subjects. Jen says, no, Donald, don't think so. It's from the melted telecom caused by the meteorite hitting. Raptor says that, Jen, I like to go out and do that stuff too. I just can't post nothing because of the lawyer. All right. Well, hopefully StreamYard works next week because I can't see how I can do anything with this YouTube system here. Maybe I just don't know how to use enough, but I don't see how I can. There's certain different things I don't see that I can do. Can't highlight your comments. Post nothing because of the lawyer. Cool Jin must learn more. Icon says, well, that the title of the stream is just about autumn, so yeah. And not much more to say about it, and the leaves are falling. Before we know it, it'll be winter. Turkey Day is coming. So on and so forth. I wish I could afford to go places and, check some stuff out, and at least there would be, some things to talk about those cases, haunted places, Bigfoot places, so on and so forth. But I just can't. So. Mr. Lee says it's a conspiracy. Uncle Bone says I have 5 seasons of La Femme Nikita DVR'd. Time to watch. Cool, man. Icon says, turkeys. Donald says, night, Lockbeard, night, my friends. Jen says, can we skip winter? I'd like to skip winter. I would like to also. We had that cold snap a week ago or whatnot, and that's all I would like to deal with. It was, 20s, 23 degrees, I think, was our low. That's enough. But we're probably going to see some single digits or below 0 again, and blah, blah, blah. Send Donald pictures of your stone. Mr. Lee says turkey is dry. Yeah, turkey's is fucking useless animal. Eat beef, eat steak. That's just make ribeyes for Thanksgiving. Eating turkeys is for the birds. Icon says Bones, that used to play back to back with Emmanuel on HBO here. Good stuff. Donald says he's praying for Mr. Lee. Yeah, Mr. Lee, please talk to a carnivore doctor. I mean, you can heal, but I don't know how bad your condition is, and You know, I'm not a doctor myself. I know a lot of shit, but I'm not a doctor. That's why I tell people go talk to those doctors. See, because they talk about this stuff all the time over there, you know, and YouTube ain't gonna fuck with them because they're doctors. They just get mad at me because I'm not an actual doctor. Well, I'll send you to the doctors. They're over there. They got, they all got YouTube channels. All four of those guys I mentioned, they got YouTube channels. So. Mr. Lee says, good night, peeps. Thank you for the kind wishes. Raptor says, you guys be safe. Hope to see you all next Saturday. Jen says, I just got a prime rib rack at work, $7.99 a pound. Good, damn good price. Got 6 steaks out of it. Donald says, Icon, great show. Great shows unappreciated. Mr. Lee says, thank you, Lockbeard. You're welcome. Jen says, hugs, Mr. Lee. Donald says, Jen, I'll be there in 10 hours. All right. Thank you all for coming. And see you next Saturday.